And now, Internet Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tina, Alina, and Nina. Tina, Alina, and Nina made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tina, Alina, and Nina all together. One day, the king of the Cobblebur's messengers said, Hear ye! The king of the Cobbleburg is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Coupling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Tina said, He's going to marry me. Alina said, No way, Tina! He's going to marry me! Nina said, Both of you are wrong! He's going to marry me! Later, Cinderella is so sad doing her chores that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Coupling, while her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, I have lots of chores to be done, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Coupling. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. So she chants the magic words, Tintity tantity tantity too, and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 10 pumpkins. Cinderella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, Tintity tantity tantity too, and waves her magic wand again to turn the 10 pumpkins into a handsome coach by 20 strong horses, and then Cinderella's were closed into a gown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a sensational gown. And get a load of my glass slippers. Cinderella's fairy godmother said, Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Coupling was wondering who he should marry. Tina, Alina, and Nina said all together, He's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Coupling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella is almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Coupling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around the Cobbleburg to find her, and brought the 2 tiny glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door of the home of where Cinderella, Tina, Alina, and Nina lived. But instead of Cinderella, he finds Tina, Alina, and Nina. Prince Coupling then said, Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you not find me these 2 glass slippers? Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Alina is not, but her foot is too small. Nina is last, but her foot isn't the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Decoupley noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. Cinderella then gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Decoupley back. And Prince Decoupley doesn't have to put the two glass slippers back on her feet because they're so uncomfortable. And now they've both lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers. If you want to see some sequels, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Andrew Does Everything, and buy our merchandise, etc. And, take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 53rella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, in a faraway land named Quinquadratumlingham, there was a young woman named 53rella. 53rella had 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Fatima, Ivana, Fernanda, Tasha, Irina, Tanya, Hannah, Rosie, Erna, and Emily. All 10 of them constantly made fun of 53rella and made her do all the chores. 53, wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! We don't have all day, said the stepsisters all together. One day, the king of Quinquadratumlingham's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Quinquadratumlingham is kind, wise, caring, and everything. His Majesty is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Quadrintupling. But 53rella is not invited. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters. They are overjoyed and picked out dresses to wear to the ball. Prince Quadrintupling is going to marry me, said Fatima, the oldest stepsister. No way, Fatima, wrong. He's going to marry me, said Ivana. Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. The rest say, all 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, 53rella is so sad about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Quadrintupling. Whatever will I do? She whimpered. 53rella's fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There, now, 53rella. I can help with a bit of magic. Nobody will know it's you. And so, she chants the magic words. Surprise, surprise among the shores. Magic wand, do all the chores. And waves her magic wand. And not a minute too soon, 53rella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother says that she's not done yet. She says, 53rella, go fetch me a pumpkin and your teeny tiny little friends, the mice. Luckily, 53rella has 53 pumpkins and 160 mice. 53rella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 53 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 106 mice into horses, and 53rella's ripped clothes into a gown and crown. 53rella's fairy godmother says, I've never seen such a quadruple-tastic gown! And get a load of my glass slippers, fairy godmother. How can I ever thank you enough? And climbs into the coach. 53rella's fairy godmother says, well, 53rella, you can't, but have fun. And I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will turn back to normal. And so, Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling was wondering who he should marry. Wondering who to marry, Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling, my son? Asked the king of Trey Quadrant Tumblingham. To which Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling says, yes, father. Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling, you're going to marry me, said Fatima, the oldest stepsister. No way, Fatima, wrong. He's going to marry me. Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling, you're going to marry me, said Ivana. Both of you are wrong. Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling, you're going to marry me, said Ferdinand. The rest say, all three of you are wrong. Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling, you're going to marry me. But Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling angrily denies their request. 50 arrives at the ball just in time. Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling sees her, walks out to her and says, you must be 50 May I have please at this dance? 50 responds, yes. 50 and Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling dance happily together. But later, 50 realizes it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. The next day, the king of Trey Quadrant Tumblingham and Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling try to find 50 who captured Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling's heart and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrive at her house, Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling knocks on the door at the house where 50 and her 10 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 50 they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters Fatima to Emily. Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling then says, ladies, my father, the king, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Fatima is first, but her foot is too big. Isabella is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits, she said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of Trey Quadrant Tumblingham and Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling, known as 50 singing. Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling, is that you? She hollered excitedly. He says, of course it's me, I love you, will you marry me? And the glass slipper fits! And so, Prince Trey Quadrant Tumbling and the king of Trey Quadrant Tumblingham and 50 lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew Stewards. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Everything, and buy our merchandise at Everything.com. And take care. Bye. And now, Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman named Cinderella. Cinderella had 5 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Sophia, Isabella, Xavier, Tasha, and Yadina. All 5 of them constantly made fun of Cinderella and always made Cinderella do all the chores. 60 wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, and do windows, do it all, said Sophia, Isabella, Xavier, Tasha, Yadina, and all together. And then one day, the king of Sexargent Tumblinham's messenger arrives and says, hear ye, the king of Sexargent Tumblingham is going to throw a ball alongside his son, Prince Sexargent Tumbling. Sophia, Isabella, Xavier, Tasha, and Yadina ran with huge excitement and picked out dresses to wear to the ball, but argued over who Prince Sexagit Tumbling fall in love with. Later, Cinderella is so distraught, upset, and sad about not going doing chores, about not going to the ball and marry, being best friends with Prince Sexagit Tumbling. Whatever will I do? She whimpers. Cinderella's fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There, now, Cinderella. I will fix everything for you. Nobody will know it's you. And so, she waves her magic wand to do all the chores for Cinderella, and then turn her attire into a princess's attire with a pair of sparkly glass slippers. Cinderella says, "I've never seen such a sexagitabletastic gown, and I love my new glass slippers. But how am I going to get to the ball?" Fortunately, her fairy godmother magically turns 60 pounds into a handsome coach and 120 mice doll for the coach to be drawn. Cinderella then says, "Oh, fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough?" and climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, "Well, you can't, but have fun, Cinderella. But I will warn you to return home by the stroke of midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before." And so, Cinderella accepts the warning. At the ball, the king of Sexagit Tumblingham says, "Wondering who's your princess, Prince Sexagit Tumbling?" In which Prince Sexagit Tumbling responds, "Yes, father. I just don't know who." Cinderella arrives at the ball just in time. Prince Sexagit, he's her princess. "He's walking towards me," said Sophia, Isabella, Xavier, Tasha, and Yadina all together. But Prince Sexagit Tumbling passed right by them, walked straight towards Cinderella, and said, "You must be Cinderella. May I please have this dance?" "Yes!" said Cinderella, overjoyed. Cinderella and Prince Sexagit Tumbling sing, 60 times you and me. Come on, let's dance together. Cinderella will be best friends forever. Who else could it be than you and me? Come on, Prince Sexagit Tumbling, let's dance together. We'll be best friends forever. Who else could it be than you and me? As they dance, but soon, Cinderella realizes it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. The next day, the king of Sexagit Tumbling and Prince Sexagit Tumbling traveled all around the neighborhood, trying to find Cinderella who captured Prince Sexagit Tumbling's heart and brought the 2 glass slippers she lost with them. If they could find Prince Sexagit Tumbling's princess, they could get married. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where Cinderella, Sophia, Isabella, Xavier, Tasha, and Yadina live. But instead of Cinderella, they find her ugly, mean, and wicked stepsisters Sophia, Isabella, Xavier, Tasha, and Yadina. Prince Sexagit Tumbling then said, "Ladies, my father, the king of Sexagit Tumblingham, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you draw in these glass slippers?" Sophia is first, but her feet are too big. Isabella is next, but her feet are too small. "Nonsense! They fit!" she said. Xavier, Tasha, and Yadina did the same thing, but neither of their feet fit either. Just then, Cinderella arrives. She looks rather familiar and tries the glass slippers on. Because of that, she transforms back into a princess. Cinderella, my dear daughter-in-law, we found you! We thought you were lost forever! Exclaims the king of Sexagetumblingham. And so, Cinderella, the king of Sexagetumblingham, and Prince Sexagetumbling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and buy our merchandise at nerdstuffing.com. Take care. Bye.